from home. And none of the family members actually knew that she was pregnant because, she had worn big clothes and everything, and she was still somewhat active. When it got time to deliver the baby, she went right next door to the sugarcane field. She went right next door to the sugarcane field, and by herself. The little boy came out whiter than white could possibly be, and she left that child right there. It wasn't until my grandmother and her sister heard the baby crying. They went to get the baby, and they realized, okay. And it was traumatic for her. Throughout her life, it was completely traumatic, because every day that you're looking at this baby, and she didn't want the baby, so my grandmother took the child, but every day you're looking at this child, and you're like saying, darn, this came from a horrific act. However, being that the black woman has always been the mantle of everything that has to help us rectify what has been wrong in our families or in society, they raised him.
Yes. So the mercy that black women have shown this society by not being violent, but by trying to make a home where no home was, is not being memorialized. And it should also be brought to bear that women have carried a great burden. We don't want to take anything away from our men. My goodness.
No, we don't.
We don't. But we want also to hand in hand get recognized, memorialized for the good things we have done. Can you imagine if the rape laws that we have in place right now, that if you are raped, you carry your rape victim's baby full term, and you cannot do away with this impregnation when it's not something pleasant, and you have to bear that. That can be pretty hard to do. So I guess Memorial Day should be with barbecue and potato salad and hanging out with your family. And yes, you can turn it into that. We have transmuted so many disasters to something believable and livable, but we also need to go behind the curtain like the little dog in The Wizard of Oz. He runs behind the curtain, finds out that there are manipulators and users who are benefiting far more than we are.
Yes, and I really think that is so essential, that when we talking about these different billion-dollar holidays, who is actually making the money is off on this billion-dollar holidays. They have sales on furniture. You go to this one, you could get a discount and everything. But who really benefits from that? It's like we were talking about earlier about Sally Heming. Sally Heming, she was not in love with Thomas at all. It was called rape, survivability. Rape, survivability. Now, you had mentioned something dealing with Sally Heming that I had not known, and I would love for you to share that with the audience.
Oh, okay. Sally Heming was the half-sister because they had the same white father, half-sister to Thomas Jefferson's first wife, who died. So Sally Hemings was a blood relative, half-sister to Thomas Jefferson's wife, but much, much younger. And so Thomas Jefferson did what what would you call them?
Rapists?
Rapists. Just plain I call them rapists. She is a young child, so he took her into his home, and he built a little special room for her, which they have now uncovered, which was close to the bathroom section,
Yes.
And she lived there with the children that she bore for him. When he went to France, that Louisiana Purchase, when he went to France, he couldn't do without her. He sent for her, and of course, the history books would say she was his servant, personal servant. Yeah. What did she have to serve up for him, though? And her brother, who was also half brother to his dead wife, went to France and brought back French fries and made macaroni and cheese. OMG. So when you scoop that delicious thing into your mouth, remember that there was an enslaved person in an impossible position in France with Thomas Jefferson, who came up with that dish. So here, you just, when you start unpeeling the onion and unraveling the strings of the things we celebrate, make sure we celebrate the things that are worthwhile. That human beings take whatever situation they're in, right? Got to pay them bills, huh?
Yeah.
So whatever situation we find ourselves in, we try to make it human. And there are those who, whatever situation they find themselves in, they want to make a profit. And we have to deal with those profit-making people and the good hearts that we live in on a regular basis.
Yes, and I also somewhat think about the peanut butter man, and I don't want to call him the peanut butter man.
He actually did not discover peanut butter. He discovered so many products with the peanut, and so we just called him Peanut Butter Man.
Right.
Yes.
But I'm trying to get his name from the tip of my
George Washington Carver.
Okay,
Yes.
George Washington Carver. So he was not the peanut butter man. He was the man that discovered hundreds
of products. He discovered so many products that came from peanuts that, we have peanut oil and so many things that he brought to us, out of the goodness of his heart. I don't see any Carver peanut products. I don't see his name on anything. A man with good heart, great creativity. How do we memorialize these humane traits that build us and sustain us? And how could we have a world without people like him? Oh, I'm going to make this so I can make some money. That's the mantra of our world today. Let me go to school so I can make some more money. And money becomes the bottom line. And I'm so grateful that I have had a chance to meet people like Sister Khadija, for whom the bottom line is not the end-all, be-all of their lives. So, George Washington Carver, he had an unfortunate life.
A really unfortunate life.
They removed his family jewels when he was very young, and he was adopted by people who did nurture him and allow him to read and understand how life worked. But go ahead.
Those same people that adopted him and helped him to learn and everything, those were the same people that castrated him.
Yes, I was trying not to say that word, but let's go there.
Yeah, because when I would read about him, I'm like
That's
saying,
that forked tongue again.
Right. I could not understand. I said, well, he's a handsome young man. He don't have no children, no nothing. And it wasn't until when you had explained to me why there was no children. They castrated him. They loved him so much that they didn't even want him to produce another. He didn't even want him to produce. Right, another genius. Oh, that is so horrific. And I wrote about that. In one of my class, and the teachers like looking at me like to see, Did you say what I think? Yes, I did say that. You know, and I told her where I got the information from, which was the Encyclopedia of Maharu, and she's like, I never knew of that, but everything makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. So we're following the theme of the forked tongue. Now, I don't want to say that only colonizing Europeans have forked tongues. We have people in our day and time who have forked tongues every day. So who is it who said, don't just listen to what they say, watch what they do? So we adopted him. They adopted him. They loved him. They nurtured him in a way. But their fear of him or dislike, what would you call that? That they would feel they had to dismember him.
Yes. And when you...
Could it have been jealousy or envy?
Oh, it could be both. Or it is both. Because there's no way, you know, that you would want to do that. And it also brings to mind that we have this young girl who is 11 years old out of Iberia Parish. She has been found guilty of obstruction of justice, and that she must testify against her brother for the killing of this white man, 36 years old, or you know, and we really Judge Hamilton Jr. He still has a gag order. We really can't find out what actually went on, what made her feel so fearful of her life. And if you notice the history, I mean, we're telling you some parts of the history, you know, with the Sally Heming, the Jefferson, you know, we're telling you some type of history, and that is so that you can write it down and you can go and check it out for your own self. You could go and do your own research, but we always have to be mindful that we think that we have things that are bad, but it's really not. We know what you done when you actually did it, and we just want to let you know that we could see things with our third eye. Now, when you spoke about the Louisiana Purchase, Thomas Jefferson had done, you know, and it was only for just about pennies in that particular time.
Yes, for a small amount of money, because France was in trouble. You know why France was in trouble at that time? Well, Toussaint L'Ouverture was kicking Napoleon's military butt, right? Mm-hmm. And it was costing France a lot of money. So they wanted to sell this great, vast land that stretched from one part of the United States all the way, in some cases, to the Pacific Ocean, right? Right. And so he was able to sell it so cheaply because, and you see, you don't get that causal understanding from your regular history class, do you?
No.
No, you just think, oh, Thomas Jefferson, you know, let us memorialize everybody. So Toussaint L'Ouverture decided that Haiti needed to be free. And he and Jocelyn, I always mispronounce his name, and there are women who helped him also, so we don't want to leave them out, but they need to be memorialized. And of course, what they eventually did to him was take him to France and put him in jail. I mean, there's still so many twists and turns of the forked tongue, but I'll just leave that cause and effect relationship with you there. And because I want to go into what was in Louisiana at that time. You know, there are people who call themselves the Washita. It starts with a W. And here we call them the, what is it, O-U something, Q-U. You can't even recognize that spelling. But the Washita never gave permission for any colonizers to take over their land and to demolished their culture. And so even until the 1990s, there were people in part of the Washita group who were being watched by the FBI, monitored for any activities they had because they were an autonomous nation to until the 1990s. But I read in the newspaper, so that's the source of this part of my information. I read in the newspaper that the FBI had found these very dangerous people and had taken their computers and shut down what they were doing in the 1990s. So you can go online, you can research the Washita people who are part of Louisiana history, and let's memorialize them.
And yes, and when you look at the Chaffalaya, first you're trying to say, well, a Chaffalaya, where does that come from? And that's from the indigenous Americans, the Chaffalaya. And so one thing for sure that when you think about Brother Takuna Malana El Shabazz, who wrote this fantastic book, Cajun I Am Creole and something I'm not, but he met in the book the Canadians, they decided to get rid of all of the criminals, people that had committed crime, the criminals. They decided to get rid of them from Canada, and the first place where they were able to really walk to was through the bayou going to Louisiana. So that's one of the ways that the Acadians became down here, was because the government decided, look, I'm getting rid of all of these murderers and all of these child molesters and everything, and so they came to the bayou in Louisiana, and it was the I can't think of their name right offhand, but it started with an M, but it was there was the black men and women that was showing the Acadians how to.
The Marana?
No, it's called something else.
Okay.
God dog it, we gonna find it.
Yeah.
But they decided to come. They decided to show the Acadians, look, y'all need to be cooking y'all food. You have alligator here, you have all of these foods here, the shrimps, the fish, and everything. You're not supposed to be eating it raw, and that was one way how they came down. And now today, if you notice that everything that's dealing with food and everything, they want you to believe that the white folks done it, the Cajuns, they done it, and everything like that. The Cajuns didn't know jack anything about gumbo until the New Maroons. It was the New Maroons. Until the New Maroons, they didn't know nothing about gumbo, but yet they invented gumbo. Okra came out of the seeds out of the locks in our black people hair, and they were able to go ahead and plant that. But that was when they were also stolen and stuff. So it was the New Maroons. The New Maroons from Louisiana taught the Canadians how to live on the bayou.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there's so much fork tonguery. We can give it another name, but we're going to call it fork tonguery that has gone on over time. And of course, W.B. Du Bois and argued that we should not just be farmers and industrialists. We should also be cognizant of the larger forces affecting us. And so Booker T. Washington lost that argument, and his argument was what? That we should just do what we know, let our buckets down where we are, let our lives be separate from this country as the fingers on a hand. Sure, the fingers are on the hand, but they are separate, and we should not bother with the philosophies of politics and how our world fit together. But how do you deal with the forked tongue? How do you get the truth out of it before it starts forking up these lies, or what would you call them if you didn't want to call them lies? Exaggerations or something? Lies.
I mean, you don't get no more. Yeah, you don't get no more graphic than that.
Yes.
They were liars. They still lies, and and they help create that term.
Yes.
They help create that term. Now, what I have always didn't seem to somewhat understand is the fact is that why is it that you want to be able to leave something for your children and your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, but you don't want us to leave nothing for our children, our great-grandchildren. It seems like if you have this white picket fence and everything in your home, I just want a black picket fence. I'm not trying to play golf with you. I'm not trying to drink tea with you. I think all of this is imperative because you know who you are, what you represent, and you have to bring that on to the next generation. We have to bring that on to the next generation. Now, when it comes down to criminality, you have more white-collar crimes with billions of dollars that is just taken, and not no one goes to jail. But if you caught me with a joint or with a hairpin that I picked off of the floor of Walmart, you're gonna try to arrest me saying that I stole that. But yet you all have stole billions, and y'all don't get a chance to do nothing. Even when you look at the SNL scandal, SNL scandal.
Under a Republican.
Yeah, yes, and y'all stole all these billions of dollars. If I remember correctly, Bush's son was involved in one of that also. But here come Congress. Congress come and they say, well, look, even though we know that you stole all these billions of dollars, we're going to go ahead and just put in a forgiveness of loan. And forgiveness of loan. So that meant that all of these billions of dollars that they stole, they don't even have to worry about it. It's forgiven, and guess who forgave it?
The very people who say they are the lawmakers in a land of laws were the forgivers of that. And then the Enron scandal, the same kind of thing. Oh yes, Enron was a little more recent than that. But again, under a Republican president, they get away with so much stuff, Tom, with that forked tonguery, and right now we have a man, I don't even want to say the name, of importance, served in the highest office of the land, and has how many indictments? 88 indictments. To be indicted is not like Susie around the corner calling you out of your name or saying you did something bad, but an indictment is like the smoking gun and maybe even the absolute gun. Things were actually done, and there are people who will vote for him to be to be in the highest office of the land again. So that forked tonguery, all of that, it just keeps coming down. We can go into almost any situation, and you're going to find a major deception once you peel the onion back.
Yes, indeed. And to call in, the telephone number is 337-534-0036. To call in is 337-534-0036. I know Brother Jay was supposed to be calling in. Evidently, something must have came up. But I also think about, you brought up Imran. I had brought up the SNL scandal. Not one person went to jail. Also, we had a representative from New Orleans, Jefferson. He was a Jefferson, and he had, like, during the Katrina era, he had like maybe about $90,000 in his freezer. $90,000. You know, they came and they arrested him, found him guilty, and he served time for $90,000 in his freezer.
Now, what was his melanated
Position?
Yeah, well, how was he? Was he melanated or?
Yeah, yes, he was. He was.
Melanated.
Yes. Y'all two complexion is identical, and you know what was so ironic about it, when you would go different places, they were saying, oh yeah, they caught. I mean, I'm not going to say what they actually was saying, but oh yeah, they caught him with $90,000 in his freezer. So what? I mean, he has children. He has a wife. And he didn't trust the bank, and he did not trust the bank at all. That's the reason for that. When you look, even when you go back to people really beginning to, like, somewhat trusted in the doctors, there was a reason why black people didn't trust the doctors. When you look at the Tuskegee experiment, all of these black men and women that was infected for over 40 years with syphilis, dying, and it was by their government.
Yes. Yes, by their government and by corporate inclusion. We can put a lot on the government, and yes, we should, but boy, them corporations be throwing down, don't they? they pay them off. But one of the things I found ironic, I don't know how much time we have.
We have good time.
We have good time? Mm-hmm. Okay. One of the things I found ironic was that insider trading, I can't exactly define it, but the insider traders, they take knowledge that only they, by their occupation, can know, and then they make bets on the stock market based on their insider knowledge. Now, that is against the law. And you would think that almost nobody's doing insider trading and nobody's going to jail. But guess who went to jail for insider trading? It was not any of the men who stomped their feet daily on Wall Street. It was a lady who specialized in sheets, tiles, and French cuisine, and how to do things in a classy way. Very mild-mannered lady, and she went to prison.
Correct.
For insider trading. None of the men who are great experts at it, but she went to prison. But you know what? She was so mild-mannered and she was so classy that when she came out, she created a picture for those white men who sent her to prison. When she came out, she was holding hands with Mr. Snoopy himself. Snoop Dogg was on her show, doing whatever Snoop Dogg could do. So it was like, here, Mr. White Collar Man, let me introduce you to Mr. Dog. Yeah. But I call him Snoopy because he's my friend. Anyway, that was just a way of saying in your face for sending
right, and that was Martha Stewart. That was Martha Stewart, and well, we have the call on the line. But let me say this too about Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart just got caught. They had been doing that for years. These white men had been doing that for years. But Martha just got caught, and she got caught because the person that was her right hand wind up telling someone, and that someone said, "Okay, we've been trying to get it." Yeah, folk tongue. Caller. Is that Brother Jay? Brother Jay, is that you? We're glad to hear.
Yeah, and I want to say, she cleaned up her image, and even got her revenue up just by partnering with Snoop Dogg. Ain't that amazing? Only in America, and if you want to put 3 Ks on America, I hope I don't offend nobody. But that's so ridiculous anyway. But that's the corporate what we call the corporate consumer capitalist world. And I think that good morning, Sister Rod. I really appreciate you inspiring me. Thank you for being on this segment of the People's Tech and Entertainment Show, hosted by the one and only Sister Khadijah. Listen, I'm glad y'all doing the construct of breaking down Memorial Day. And I want to add this, and it's a little 2 point. I'm not going to ramble on because I know y'all don't have much time. But I want to add to this. There's some people, there's some black people in America with Greek days celebrate Memorial Day. Let us not forget how this is so hypocritical when we have a young man by the name of Roger Boardson, a young first-class military officer in the Air Force.
Oh, yes.
Was serving his country
Oh, yes.
on duty as a enlisted person, right? Senior Airman Roger Thurston of Atlanta, Georgia, who was part of a situation where law enforcement happened upon his house based on a call from somebody, and therefore him losing his life, being shot,
yes,
answered his door, doing all the things under the law, doing all the things as a person who they would want to go get a registered permit and being part of an elite military situation. Got killed. Now tell me this, Sister Khadijah, and if you care to answer, Sister Maud, that Roger will, the same law enforcement operation that honors all the veterans and all the people on Memorial Day, the department out there in Okaloosa County, Florida, will they honor Mr. Roger Boardson, who they had somewhat, as far as police policy, doing him in as a hero on Memorial Day? That's the question you got to ask. But before you answer, I want to just go into this to get off the phone. Now, what is Memorial Day? The true meaning of why we celebrate Memorial on the federal holiday.
Not we.
This is in the USA Today. and I found this interesting, Sister Rod.
Uh-huh.
For many Americans, Memorial Day is more than a long weekend, unofficial start to the summer season. The real meaning of the holiday is meant to honor all U.S. soldiers who have died and served the country. Originally called Decoration Day, Memorial Day history goes all the way back to the Civil War, and it was declared a national holiday by Congress in 1971, according to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Now, I'm going to jump to this one, and this is the part you all might want to comment on. This was, okay. The origin of the holiday is traced back to the local observation for soldiers with neglected grave sites during the Civil War. And it was the first that would become Memorial Day. Some historians think it took place in Charleston, South Carolina, at the site of a horse racing track that Confederates had turned into a prison holding Union prisoners. Blacks in the city organized a burial of deceased Union prisoners and built a fence around the site. Yale historian David Bright wrote in the New York Times in 2011. Then on May 1st, 1865, they held an event there to include a parade. Blacks who fought in the Civil War participated. Spiritual readings and songs and picnicking, whatever that is, a commemorative marker was elected in 2010. Now, Sister Mott, a lot of that historical writing of that article, if you want to read the article and wherever they got their research from, got the word blacks in it. So black folks were an integral part of, again, being the first to acknowledge something, whether it was a right thing to do or a wrong thing to do. And so I want to know what's your take on that.
Well, my take on what happened with the original Decoration Day and how black people started memorializing the people who had given their lives for our advancement, and to have that taken over, smothered over, and covered over by the Fort Tongue people, it's, what is that, customary? Is that to be expected? So I think it is a wonderful thing when, as we peel the onion back, as we move away from Fort Tonguery, we find goodness that black people have been a part of all along.
Right. And that's the very history that I'm glad you got sisters bringing that out. We don't have no accurate,
We don't get the accolades for
our
it.
strategy is trained. We hear something, then we run with it. We run it, and we don't research and go really in depth, and we don't get accurate sources.
Exactly.
So, I'm gonna hang up. I don't know, Sister Cathedral, you don't need
Yes.
me on the line. We're gonna hang up and let you guys roll on with the show. Y'all doing a great job. Thank you, Sister Cathedral. The People's Taking Entertainment Show. Finders Keepers. Y'all doing a great job.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Also, I want to say about the original Decoration Day is that as humane people, we would take any tragedy or any besmudgery against us and find a way to celebrate the good in it. And now it becomes Memorial Day, and we have to decide who gets memorialized. Like this young man, his name doesn't come up right away, but just recently killed a person in the Air Force, right? And you have to do something to get into the Air Force, right? Not just the Army.
Oh no,
But,
yeah,
yes.
that's right.
So he was a person of excellence and living his life like a straight arrow, and he was still killed. And of course, that defeats our little hope that we have in our fluttering hearts that if we could just be good enough, if we could just show them how good we really are, things would change. And that is so not the case. And of course, we know there are many people in the military who go in and are raped or put aside, passed over, and all of that. So those are we would say that's normal in this world, but it doesn't have to be. We don't have to be in forked tonguery all of our lives.
And when we talk, and you just help put something back in my front brain cell. Whereas we're going through, when I say we are going through all of this war that where Netanyahu want to be in control of everything, and the genocide. I don't even understand how anyone can let this continue to go on. Then when they do get some food, you have other people just taking the food and throwing it away. Why would you do that?
Why?
That's completely.
Oh, that's so inhumane.
That's animal. I mean, even animals wouldn't do that. Even animals wouldn't do that. So we got to continue to understand what's going on. Who are the key players? How is it that President, what's his name? Bush? No, not Bush. I'm thinking about the president, the 82, 84, 87-year-old president right now.
Oh, Biden.
Right. I'm still sleeping. Yeah. How is it that Biden can just go ahead and he could barely stand up?
How many? 100 billion?
Billions of dollars.
Billion. Do you know how many millions are in a billion? He's sending to Israel, even though he for tonguery, what does he do? He says, "Oh no, you better stop, or we're gonna stop." And then I better send them some more, so they can kill more human beings. I haven't seen a uniform from them. Who are they killing? They're killing the people.
That's right. And you don't even want them to have their own state. You don't even want them to have their own state.
You want them to have food. You want them to die. You want them wiped off the earth. But you have to say it in a different way. We want to remove the threat of terrorism. What terrorism? Who's the terrorist here?
Yes. And it gets to the point where you don't even try to look at the news, because you see all of this. Forked tonguery, just killing and everything, but yet y'all refuse to give reparation payments to any people of color, but yet other states had done it. In 1999, Europe and American, they demanded $760 77 trillion U.S. dollars from an African World Reparation and Reparation Truth. You know, you have in Switzerland in 1998, $1.25 billion agreed. You know, and when you look at Rome, the Vatican apologized to Jews completely. Now, what does an apology? Help me out with an apology. Oh, I'm sorry for what we done to your people and everything. However, you know, I'm sorry.
Yes, and of course, Bill Clinton almost crossed that line here in the United States. He was getting ready to make an apology, but for a president of fork tonguery, for that being to make an apology lays the foundation for legal action. And so no matter how he felt in his heart, oh, so bad, he couldn't apologize because of who he was and where he was and the tongue that had been split already. But here's the thing. When people say things to you in response to reparations and they say such things as, so long ago, I had nothing to do with it. Listen, do not, and the Greeks had slaves and the Romans had slaves and the Christians had slaves. Sweetheart, listen to me. Study slavery, if you have to, state by state, country by country, century by century. And I assure you, there is nobody in this world from century zero to right now who has suffered the indignities, the horrors, the absolute inhumane, crazy stuff that black people suffered under slavery. Whether we were born here, they brought us on ships or whatever. Ain't nobody, study it. Don't let them fool you. Well, there have been slaves. Nothing as brutal and unforgiving as our ancestors went through. And look at us. We're thriving. We're finding a way to be happy. We're finding a way to memorialize everyone. But don't let them fool you. Reparations are so due. If they open that coffer, I think we'll own a state or two.
Well, not only that, but then you spend all these billions of dollars. I mean,
$100 billion.
Right, $100 billion of dollars to go ahead and help Netanyahu finish murdering all these other people. Oh yes.
The babies, the mamas. They want them wiped off the planet.
And who do that? Like even animals don't try to do that. You know, and I was reading something from Frances Caldwell Singer. Yeah, and she stated that racism is a universal operating system of white supremacy and domination in which the majority of the world's white people participate.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Yes. And then the state of Louisiana, as we speak, they're making people that if you purchase this type of after morning pill, that you could be charged with a crime. Now they don't. Louisiana is, when I say damn near last, Louisiana is last, you know, or second to last in just about anything that is positive. I mean, and we have the majority of our young men and women in their productive years are incarcerated or under some type of judicial system. We should be trying to figure out how is it that when you look at Congress, when you look at all of the white men is in control of everything.
And have been for years. All of their affirmative action is slowly being eaten away, and they want to make sure you don't have any affirmative action. They've had affirmative action since George Washington to right now. What is that, 1776? How many years is that? That's a lot of affirmative action.
A lot of children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren just walk on in and inherit everything that I stole. Mm-hmm. You know, Just walk on in. And the reason why we're so passionate about it is because we live here, and we want our state to be the best that it could possibly be. But with all of y'all stealing and this imbecile type of governor that we had that just came in and then wipe away so many good positive bills, it's unbelievable.
And then talk about that thing.
You go ahead.
The thing happening right here, where they're going from north.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
I know what you're talking about.
Yes, that's
right,
another.
Right. I see. Well, I seen it on Brother Wilder's show with Bishop Carlos. He was talking about how the Boudreaux, Senator Boudreaux, and Vincent Pierce, and a few other. They were the reason why we didn't have this board. This board, they had monies for it, and they did not adhere to it. And they don't want leader to come over and take over what was rightfully theirs. And so you have Bishop Carlos, you have the other young man. I can't even think of his name, but yeah, they're talking about we want to have we want to have our board here in Lafayette at the Northgate Mall where it was supposed to be.
So here was a grant made available to the people in North Lafayette, and then here comes the little sneaky fingers pulling it over to another place where it was not designated, not legally assigned to that place. And so this is something you do right now. Stop them from doing that. You have to vote. I know nobody even voting you think doesn't matter, but it does. You need to vote, go to town hall meetings, and listen to what they have to say. I know they make it so boring, but stay awake, listen to that, stop them from stealing the funds and shifting them to another place where they don't belong.
Yes, and on another note, we would like to also state that you need to get your mammogram, colonoscopy. You need to be able to have these things so that you know what your body is telling you. Sometimes your body don't tell you jack anything. We have doctors that still taught to treat black patients as if they are immune to pain, and that in itself is causing a lot of black women to die given childbirth, and no woman should have to die given childbirth, particularly black women. You shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that you have to have expensive insurance, another way to steal your money. Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, you don't have to have expensive doctors. You need to get people in the know. Now, when I came along and I was having children, there were still midwives and doctors who worked with midwives who were still around, still available, and had useful information. And would attend to you so that you wouldn't have something like which one of the tennis players had to just almost run out of the room and get someone to help her. One of the tennis players did that. And you need to be aware, like she was saying, of your own body. You must attend to the things that you can do and take care of yourself.
Yeah, and also in the 1900s, white doctors didn't have to treat black patients, if they didn't want to, and there was little expectation for medical care, and for black childbirths and as black midwives, they had to carry on. That's when the 1900s saw the emergence of OBGYN, Lodgers, hospital, and male doctors who decided they were now expected in the care of women. Competitively jealousy, sexism, and outright racism led to a concurrent effort to stamp out these otherwise renowned midwives, whereas most all births had been handled by midwives by the 1940s. So even when they don't even want you to, they refuse to even help you out. They don't even want you to get help to help you out, you know?
Yeah, so it seems like there's some kind of guiding philosophy behind what has happened throughout the decades of the 20th century and seem to be reproducing in the 21st century. So understand where you are, love as many people as you can, but remember that if you are memorializing, and I'm just returning to the theme here, that you want to memorialize people who have made our civilization better. All right?
Yes, and that's coming from Adaru. And I want to say, too, is that when you love yourself and you know about yourself, it's hard to kind of love everybody. When I think of Netanyahu, when I think of all these other low-down individuals that continuously kill, you know, I don't even understand. Right, and get away with it, and come back and be as cocky as all outdoors.
Yes, and the thing is about militaristic happenings and militaristic people is that we see our young men and young women treated like beyond believable. You know, it's one thing to defend oneself if you are attacked, and it is another to shoot someone 21, 30 something, 40 something times. See, that speaks to another thing. That's a whole nother psychology. And what is that? Fear, hatred, jealousy? Or is that part of an underlying plan? Get rid of as many as you can.
Yes, I believe it's part of an underlying plan, and if I say some other things, I have choice words when I understand and I'm on the air, so I really can't say too much. But I want to also let people know that if you know someone who has a Colorado, if you know someone who has a Colorado, that's the little nice looking little pretty truck. The majority color is white. Can you hold my? Okay, call it. You're on.
Yes, sister, you finished giving me that update on what that vehicle is causing problems. I didn't want to interrupt that. I called in the middle of that.
Okay, yeah, it's the okay, yes, sir. It's the Colorado.
Yeah, well, I want to say also, adding on to what you say about certain vehicles, because the people's tech and everything, we cover all the subjects.
Yes, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Models of anywhere from a 2012 and 2000 up to 2018 Ford Fusion. Also check recalls on it. It has been known to have extreme transmission problems. Also, in my experience, Sister Khadija, as you know, the horrendous picture where I almost got burned alive.
Yes, you almost got burned alive.
Fusion, engine spontaneously catching on fire.
Yes.
After reporting
Yes.
to the car company, car dealership, what was going on. Then we have to do with the overall issue with insurance.
Yes.
And Sister Barat might speak to this when they want it also, when you file your claim, right, and you within all your rights and privileges as a person who has bought a legitimate insurance policy, full coverage, and then you fill out your paperwork, and then all of a sudden, the only glitch is that we need to access your phone records.
That don't make any sense.
Which is so disrespectful, so insinuating of someone doing something nefarious. This is the problem with some of these insurance companies. And I just want to warn everybody, you have to fight it. You have to keep fighting. Don't let them tell you to turn over your personal information, which they will get even as it relates to other people who you have talked to. Other situations where you have been. They have no right to that. It's a stand on principle, extreme stand on principle thing. And it's also not a guarantee that they're going to pay the claim once they access your personal information.
That's
Trying to look for any excuse not to pay you. So I wanted to bring that up since you brought up about the Colorado system.
okay.
I want to, if you don't mind if I dive into what y'all was talking about.
Well, no, it's your show. It's your show. Go ahead.
The gun violence and stuff like that.
Oh.
Popular culture, and we talk about that in people's steps. We had Brother Kwabena with the Clear the Airway Project out of Gary, Indiana. The brother is, I'm going to just say, he's a close relative of Brother Jajaga.
Oh, yeah. Jajaga. With the Black Panther. Geronimo Pratt.
You know, so we got some people who are very legitimate in knowing things going on in the world. And we was talking about the popular culture dictating the gun violence thing, driving the gun violence thing. And people don't want to see that correlation. Now, we could talk all about what we, as black folks, don't need to do to ourselves, right? We don't need to roll on each other when we get mad or somebody posts something on social media. I'm going over down there to the station system because I'm looking for you. No, because it's not the same rule where you go out there and want to fight somebody. It's a different thing. People pulling up to your house, spraying your grandmother's house, spraying your aunt's house. People indirectly connected to that person who had that particular argument or beef with. That is a popular culture of what we call real music, part of the equation of us having that problem. But it's also, Sister Mai, the culture of the gun.
Yes.
And I don't care how many brothers and sisters who are strong brothers who embrace the gun, think about it. If everybody is in the room and everybody got a gun, whether you're a passive dude like myself or you're extremely aggressive like we know some callers could be, and you know who they are. If everybody got a gun to survive, isn't that a recipe for disaster?
Oh, for murder.
In the state of Louisiana, this governor wants everybody to have a gun. The state representative from state senator from UI wants everybody to have a gun. Everybody to have one in the gumbo pot and have more guns. So I think that's where the system failure of gun violence. The system is perpetuating that all these murders of young people and stuff. As long as we have access to a gun. Think about how many people would be alive now if they didn't have access to a gun. I can't roll past your house and eye your house down and shoot up your house with my eyes. But if you have a gun, you could do the same thing too. People don't want to look at the logic about it. What's going on in the Louisiana State legislative body right now is genocide. And they're responsible for that genocide.
Yes, and they should be.
In a highly charged Louisiana system, and I could go deep and deep and deep. Louisiana just had a study.
Yes.
Louisiana is basically number one in the state of what we call mental health issues we call anxiety. You got a lot of anxious people out here with their finger on the trigger, and they will shoot you for looking at them sideways.
Yes.
So I'm saying logic dictates why we have to have all these guns. Will that make us safer? If everybody have a gun, does that make us safe? No. When everybody has guns, that's what we call that war. So I want y'all to comment on. I know I said a lot. Y'all can comment on that. So if you want to hang up, I'll wait. That's up to you.
Okay, go ahead, Sister Mahara.
Well, I would narrow that topic to guns in the classroom, and I know there are repercussions throughout our world, but in the classroom, they want teachers to have guns. In a drawer, there's a gun in the classroom. And if you know anything about the volatility of a classroom situation where you have so many different cultures coming together and they're not familiar with each other, some people have different learning styles, some people have learning disabilities, and the teacher has to grade and fairly evaluate all of those situations. Now, some students might be doing their best just to almost get to the place where the lesson starts. By the end of the class, they feel that they have been severely put upon and they have done their best. Now, a gun is in the classroom. So the teacher of course, is expected to walk the classroom, talk to the students, look at their papers, help them along. There's a gun in the drawer. And anybody could run up, grab that gun, and start shooting. Do you know what kind of death tolls we'd have coming out of the classroom? I mean, I know we have the mass shooters who get mad because someone injured their feelings or overlooked them, and they come back and just shoot everybody up. But I'm talking about on a regular basis. Do you think I'm going to have a no fear and trepidation walking into a classroom where there's a gun in the drawer? So I'll address that. That is totally ludicrous and should definitely be taken out of whatever legislation there is going on right now. And in the world at large, when you walk into like a Burger King or something, some establishment, you just want to grab a sandwich or something, get out, and there's somebody standing there with a gun, your whole world changes. Our mindsets are not made for guns to be right in our faces. And of course, you know, the NRA, the National Rifle Association, is driving that. Whoever's making money off of gun sales, they're in the NRA. And, we can't expect our government to do everything for us. We need to shut them down.
Yes, indeed. And again, there's no need for the type of violence that's been going on in all of these surrounding communities. There is no need for that. This elderly man, I think he was 71 or 72, was laying down in his bed, got shot in the neck, and automatically died. You know, you could tell the distraughtness in his wife. You know, they're supposed to be enjoying their retirement in their home. And you know what? It's always the choir talking about what's going on. Even though we may feel tired talking about it, we have to continue to speak on it, because there's no way in hell you're going to tell me that you're going to go ahead and just shoot up someone that may have walked on your side of the street when you don't even own part of the street. You know, you don't even know what paying your taxes are. That's just how illiterate that you are, but yet you're smart enough to get a gun and go and just shoot up a brother, I mean, it's just so senseless. And trust me, you have the gun, you don't have it legally, you don't know how to use it, and with this governor that we got, everybody could carry a weapon, you know, but they have places. If you feel that you are that much of you want to be that much of a bully, a RoboCop, a coward, they have these countries that's looking for people to go and shoot up people that they don't even know. You know the people. Yeah, you could sign up. Get your airport. I mean,
Your passport.
Get your passport and go over there. Show people how bad you are instead of just doing a drive-by shooting on people. Somebody bump you, you want to kill them. That is so ludicrous, and it just hurts my heart to even talk about it. You know, I also want to say before we get off, I think we got to get off within 5 minutes. My aunt, I don't see the other person that's supposed to be coming up here. They lucky I'll be the one till 12 o'clock, but Brother J, he want to be professional. Yes. So people, you see anyone with the Colorado truck, it has a shaft on it that they haven't even started making the shaft yet. So now you have the truck. You have to pay truck insurance. You have to pay truck note, which is $670 plus $300 and something for insurance. That's almost $1,000 every month, and you can't even move the vehicle. you need to make sure you have extended warranty. But this is something that I see them all over. The consumers needs to know. You know somebody that have a Colorado truck, tell them trade that rascal in, or make sure they have extended warranty, because when it breaks, it's going to be broken down for 3 to 6 months. Plus, the people that you finance it with, they don't want to hear that, I'm not paying my truck note because the truck is broken and it won't be ready for at least another 6 months. They don't want to hear that. They want your payment. They want your payment. Yes. And so in closing, I'm going to let my beautiful sister say something to us, to humanity, at the finest form, and thank her so much for all of her brilliant knowledge.
Oh my God! Wait, let me go find her because I'm sitting over here. But I guess if we wanted to say something that tied all of our information together in the theme, it was the idea of creating a Memorial Day holiday for us to celebrate the good in us, the best in us. So we want to maybe define what is the good in us and what is the best in us, and not just take the regular media definition, because we're all in the same boat and we've got to get to the other side. So if we cannot find a way to harmonize our beings, our doings, our goings and comings, then please let us be prayerful and meditative in what we do, so we can all ascend, we can all transcend the lower nature that we have been talking about mostly on this podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
Caller, you have a question or a comment? Caller?
I want to see. Hi, I just wanted to see I can promote the last Reggae festival on August the 30th.
Well, you say. Okay, say it, baby.
They got a Lafayette Reggae festival August the 30th at 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. at the Brown Park.
Okay.
It's the first annual reggae ball are now waiting for advertising.
Okay, say it again.
They have a reggae festival from August the 30th to the August the 31st at 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. at the Brown Park.
At the Brown?
Yeah, at the Brown Park. And yeah, that's right there in Lafayette. And so, but that's good to know. You know who are some of the headliners?
Can I send it to your email? I can show you maybe a couple more if you don't mind.
Oh no, I don't mind. Yes. And yes. So it's gonna be right there at the Brown Park. The Brown Park. I'm trying to think of the address of the Brown Park, but it's only one Brown Park in.
It's 1212 East.
Tell her to move her mouth back.
Move your mouth back from the phone. Say it again, babe. All right. Now go ahead. Oh, she probably gonna send it to the email.
Oh, okay.
Right, because it was really muffled. But it's the Brown Park right here in Lafayette. I think she said August 30th and August 31st. I'm not exactly sure. But all you got to do is just call someone. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a flyer around for the reggae festival, because Brother Herbert with Hot Reggae, he's here Monday through Friday, and he is the reggae man and everything. So if you wanted to call back, we had a few minutes waiting on you to call back. If not, then we're going to go ahead and close the People Tech. And what I want to say in closing to our youngsters, when I say youngsters, I just mean like our young people, our young ladies, you don't have to expose all of your body and just go out, with all of your body exposed. You can be sexy and mature and taken serious with your clothes on and everything like that, because some clothes is just a little bit too small. And sometimes we don't realize it because we're comfortable. And it's nothing wrong with being comfortable, but comfortable is you should be like that, like in your home and stuff. And my aunt, on us leaving, I wanted to mention right quick, and I forgot the viral video that went out with dealing with the Crockett, Representative Crockett sister, with the Marjorie Taylor Greene. What did you think about that?
Oh, well, I think that is a good example of a knowledgeable, well-read, well-trained, well-behaved woman who was attacked for doing her job while the person doing the attacking wasn't doing hers. And she did things in an honorable fashion, and she asked, do you know why we're here? Here's the personal attack and all that, but do you know what we're doing here? So I like that about her, and we can all strive to be somewhat like her, right?
Right.
Learn more, earn more, be better.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed, and I'm so glad that it was her, and not one word of vulgarity was in it. She done it with so much class, and high five to she's a representative
from Houston, Texas.
From Houston, Texas.
Yeah. Don't mess with us.
Okay.
We've been reading and getting ready for that very moment. It's like someone had prepared her and set her down there, and it was a wonderful thing to watch.
It was. I watched it so many. Oh, there's someone is back again. Caller, you're on.
Yeah, I got a last observation about that. I'm glad you brought it up, Sister Comedian. So I wasn't in there. So one of the viral video songs that's taking the nation. Matter of fact, I'm going to opt for the T-shirt soon, only because I want to send a message. Listen, could it be that Representative Marjorie Taylor, when you saw her aggressiveness since she came into office, Sister Maya, her aggressiveness can be called, and I know she's what we would call a quote-unquote bodybuilder. Maybe she's not injecting herself with the right hormone. Maybe she instead of getting some of the prolactin and all the stuff, the female hormone therapy, she might be getting too much testosterone. That could be a problem because, the actual description by Representative Crockett of a bad-built, butch body actually describes her body, and that's probably too much overuse of the testosterone, which is a male-enhancing hormone. So I like to get your opinion on that. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, so Brother Jay, what time do you close the tech show? Like I said, I thought he got off at 11, but he wanted us to elaborate, and I don't want to get in trouble with Brother Jay, but yes, we want to thank everybody that participated, that called in. We want to thank our fantastic guest, Maru.
Our hostess, she's wonderful and such a good friend for so many years. I don't even know how to count them all.
Oh yes, indeed. As soon as we hit that mega buck, we're gonna be going in and getting our own farm and grow our own things and invite our young children, our young people, and again to the men, be respectful. Be respectful of your sisters, or just be respectful. Some of y'all, we love y'all so much, and some of y'all just the whole pants down at the bottom, 2 and 3 underwears that's supposed to be one color. Yeah, supposed to be one color, and it's obviously other color. You don't have to we know what it is. It's you're not pleased with what's going on, but there's other ways that you could share your grievances and everything. And so we're gonna get on out of here, and we want to thank everyone. And I was hoping that the sister would have called back in for the reggae festival, which is going in August. I think August 30th and 31st at Brown Park in Lafayette. And there's only one Brown Park in Lafayette. So and what time did she say it started? I didn't catch it. Okay, all right. But Reggae Festival, you're like saying like somewhat in the evening time. But when we get the information, we'll share it. And thank everybody, and we really, really appreciate. All right, we're out of here.